Welcome to CloudGuard Native Security. Today we're going to look at leveraging CloudGuard's native custom dashboards. Dashboards are a visual dynamic set of cues represented as widgets that allow you to drill down and investigate what is most important to your company, department, or very specific project. In our multi-cloud environment world that we live in, it takes time to find and address security issues if you don't know where to look. When you first log in, the UI, the dashboard that you see here, is the first screen that you see when you log in, of course. Here you can search for your assets, your alerts, your events, or view your compliance status that are based on rule set runs that you have scheduled already. This dashboard can be your dashboard that you've created or have been provided to you from a colleague. Yes, the dashboards that are cloned or copied can be customized and shared. The first screen is all that you may need for the auditor or occasional user. This is a place, again, where you can find what you're looking for. Then review, export in a variety of different ways. But whether you are an auditor or security ops or DevOps person, you can use these standard dashboards that are being populated with the dashboard standard rule sets initially, or in short order, you can make your own dashboard, not a standard dashboard. The good news, you can do this quickly and efficiently. Note, any dashboard is dynamically updating with the latest results from rule sets and inventory changes that are already been designed from others within your group. So here we may, as mentioned, just need a standard default dashboard. I may be focused in on all things AWS, and I could certainly make that my default dashboard right here. So every time I log in, I'm going to see this dashboard. But certainly I may need to find other things that are not represented here. But nevertheless, this is a good start to get acclimated with this solution. If I don't see something, I certainly could use this simple search window to find it, to select an environment such as all things being alerts, and then move to that particular area in events based on a time frame, of course, and be able to see all things relative to launch wizards. Wizards, plural, as in multiple security groups with that naming convention, probably not your standard. But again, we're just getting used to our standard dashboards that come out of the box ready for you to use. These cannot be manipulated in any way. You can certainly collapse particular areas that do not concern you. But again, you can take these widgets, select something in the widget, and go right to that area, protected assets of a particular environment in this case. It all came from the dashboard. The home dashboard is a collection of other cloud type accounts that we see here. This is a busy demo account. It may take a few seconds to populate, but it will populate. And we see more of a global selection set here and other sections. These are sections right here that may be helpful in determining exactly where you need to focus in on. But as I mentioned at the beginning, there is a time when you will have to create your own dashboard. None of these address all of your concerns, so we need to create a dashboard by simple cloning. If you've used our posture management and cloned a rule set, we use that same term, clone, and we can clone that dashboard very quickly. We see here, yes, give it a unique name, of course. And be able to clone that. And now we'll be able to manipulate that dashboard. I do not see it in my list here because it's not part of my favorites. Here. But that's okay because I already see I have created one already. So this may not be certainly helpful to me. I see I've already created a default or cloned AWS default cloned dashboard that may be much more helpful. And I've already started creating through this simple process my own section. Just for time's sake, I have added widgets here. Based on a security group issue, using that as an example that I may need to find out more about. And yes, I can show what the alert type is. I can keep it simple as well. Look at a particular environment, look at a particular entity type. You guessed it, security groups, and leave it as that simple issue, and then take it and make it part of, as we see, part of a standard dashboard that we see here, a widget in conjunction with a particular section. And these sections can be moved up and down as well. As you can see, I'm scrolling here. But for this test, I am most concerned with a particular type of security group here, as we see. And yes, easy to move, easy to reformat as well. Yes, I could put it in different sections as well. That is an option. As I see here, it looks like I've got an interesting set of security group names that I need to take a closer look at for sure. And that filter has already been set. It may not be shown right here, but rest assured, it's listed as a particular account, as a particular entity type as well, security group. It could be something all related to the name test, or as we saw earlier, default is a widely used naming convention that we need to get a better handle on as well. So we want to take a look at those if it's set up anyway, and be able to drill down into that as we could with the standard dashboards and take a look at that in a closer way. All things related to a launch wizard, just through our events. And as always, you can export those. You can share those with others as well based on this particular filter. But we're back up at the dashboard now. And we see now we're beginning to take a look at something in a much more particular way, created a new section relative to security groups. It will take a minute to populate for sure on this cloned one. Yes, we have others too. We can remove some of these favorites in addition if they don't make sense to you. You can further filter this favorite list. Think of as favorites like a set of bookmarks for sure. Listed as a favorite, may be a bit confusing to some. I've just gotten rid of it. Yes, I created one called Your Dashboard here. You can create them right from scratch, and you can make them, again, as large or as detailed as you see. Here's one we're going to take a close look at here. It says relative to open ports. Yeah, that could be an issue for sure, and be able to filter on that as well. And as always, we could collapse that. We can add a new section as well and make that separate and populate that section in Indeed. And there's always multiple ways to display these dashboards. Keep that in mind as you begin to create these new ones. Duplicating is also an option as well. The trend may not make sense to some, but you can certainly change that to again, a pie chart or donut chart. You can change it to a gauge as well and make it a bit more descriptive for others who may be using this. So that might be helpful as well. And yes, you can color code these particular types here and give it something that makes sense based on a numbering scheme as well. And as always, be able to drill down into the results of this visual cue here. And here it is listed on a short date. We can look at it at a more extensive time and probably find some pretty good results. In this case, we were looking at the assessment history. We're back up at the dashboard again. This little icon up here on the left, that brings you to the dashboard as well, in case you're looking for that menu. It will default to the dashboard that you've selected, the home dashboard in this case. But as we saw, we were working on the AWS default dashboard. Yes, we see we have other dashboards here as part of our favorites. But we're back with the dashboard that we cloned initially. Certainly, we could call it something a bit more detailed for secure EEPT and rename it. You may not see it in the URL window, but that produced a particular name that I can send a simple link to someone. They can click on it, log into CloudGuard Native Security, and find that dashboard and move a lot quicker. Again, why do we do this is because when you're working in these multi-cloud environments, it takes time to locate a particular account, a particular region, a particular entity type. These dashboards allow you, again, to find the particular areas that are of most concern to you. You can, again, share it out with others. And always now there are much easier, faster ways to show that information, all coming from the dashboard. So again, a start might be to work through the initial standard default dashboards, clone one, create one from scratch, create new widgets, move those widgets to something logical, make it part of your favorites, make it part of a public list within your company only, and then begin to work a bit more efficiently based on all your different departments, groups, focus on projects. So this is a short demonstration of CloudGuard's native custom dashboards. Thank you.